Britain has announced a new law making forced marriage a crime in England, Wales and Northern Ireland. Britain's Prime Minister David Cameron said the practice amounts to little more than savoury. Young women from Pakistan, Bangladesh and Indian communities are mostly affected. Well, let's take a closer look at this story. We're joined from our Westminster studio by Aneeta Prem. She's from the Freedom Charity. She attended a roundtable discussion with Prime Minister Cameron. Welcome to BBC News.
Good evening.
What did the Prime Minister have to say about what action should be taken now that this has been made a crime?
He's saying very clearly that now this is going to be made a crime, that young people will feel more protected against their parents forcing them into a marriage.
And just how widespread is it? It's said to be predominant mainly in communities from South Asia.
That is the case, but there's also where it happens within the travelling community. It's very widespread within the Turkish and Greek community as well. So just to label it to one community would be wrong. It's much wider than we actually know. And the figures are very inaccurate because much of this is underground and hidden.
And what do you think is the cause of it? Is it simply entrenched conservative attitudes?
There are many reasons for it. A lot of it is about control. Some would say it's about honour. We would say it's about dishonour at Freedom Charity. And it's holding on to misbelieved cultural traditions that have way gone past in the country of origin. I think it's about, not allowing young people basic human rights and freedoms to choose the person they wish to marry because they love them and not because their parents are forcing them into a marriage.
But you talk to these families, you talk to some of the people who are affected. Just how difficult is it going to be to change those attitudes, because they must be fairly entrenched in a certain generation?
They are very entrenched, but through education and the schools programme in the UK, the Prime Minister announced there would be some money available to work with schools and other organisations, and we hope the work that Freedom does in going into schools and educating young people about the rights they have and empowering the best friends of these girls and boys to be able to tell them what the signs are of forced marriage and how they can protect themselves.
And are there places for women to go if they feel they are threatened?
Absolutely. They can contact the Freedom Helpline. If someone's in immediate danger, we would always say to call 999 and the police would get involved. There are refugees. There is a whole array of services available to people that are about to be forced into marriage.
But you think this new legislation will make a difference?
I'm absolutely convinced it will. If nothing else, parents will know it's against the law and they could face criminal proceedings and could ultimately end up in prison if they force their children into a marriage.
Thank you for joining us on this crucial